This is the software ETF. It includes Microsoft, ServiceNow, CrowdStrike, Palo Alto, Palantir. And then as you had this big surge up into MU earnings right up to here, they dumped this in order to finance some of this, right? Sell software to buy hardware. And then this is the topping pattern. This is the earnings call. This is the gap down, kind of trying to stay alive, and then down she goes. So you can see this downward sell-off in MU is also reflected right here in the buying of the software names. So this is called a rotation, selling out of this and putting their money here. So what that led us to, that Michael and I were talking about in the legacy room, is okay, then let's just buy IGV. And that is what a lot of a lot of services will recommend. Just stick with the ETFs. They're easier to trade. It's a bucket of stocks, better off. But what I have found is that if there is a big boy, a big player in these ETFs, like what is the number one holding of the sector that I'm looking at, of say software or energy or healthcare, I want to take a look at that one big stock, because it will influence greatly what the ETF does. So what we talked about today as an example, we gave two examples today, right, Mike? What did we do? XLE and XLV, right? We did two examples.
Three, actually. XLV, IGV, and XLP.
And XLP, right, which we ended up trading something inside of that. So if we look at XLV, this is healthcare. And you think, okay, well, there's definitely a rotation out of the semiconductors into healthcare. We identified that last week, right? So let's take a look at that. And all I want to do is pull up a couple of charts. We can replace IGV with XLV. Whoops, that's not what I want to do. All right, so we had looked at this. Come on. We have been sort of following what this looked like. And there seemed to be a correlation, a little bit of a correlation here. And we went even further back and looked at it. So, okay, well, if the chip market is going to sell off, semiconductors are selling, where are they going? Where are they putting the money? Well, when they gapped down here, they gapped up here. So clearly this, and then they went down even further and went up even higher. And then you can see when they tried to surge it up just a little bit, pump it one more time, where'd they get the money for it? Well, they sold off their healthcare to do it. And then as they dumped big time here, where did it go? It went here. Dump some more, where'd it go? It went here. So the obvious move, if you don't want to short the chips, which I don't, because the puts are too expensive. They're way too expensive to start shorting the chips. Plus, at any point in time, hedge fund manager could say, let's buy the dip in MU, and they'll just pop right back in again. So dangerous, not a great setup, and they're too expensive. So the better question that we talked about last week, if the chips are selling off, the better question is, where's the money chasing to? And we see, okay, it's going into healthcare. But before I load up on XLV, this is sort of the main point of what we talked about today in Legacy, one of them. Let's take a look inside of XLV first. So the largest holdings is UNH. So if UNH is about to explode, that could lift up XLV. That makes this a really good trade. And then I look at UNH, and I see that UNH has already had an explosive move. Look at this thing. So while the chip market has been exploding, somebody else has been too. Even though healthcare has not been trading fantastically well over the same period of time, UNH came out of the gutter, gapped up, and has just been making higher highs and higher lows ever since. I mean, look at this thing. Incredible. From 350 to 4.25 in about 2 months. This is a nice move. And the reason why I want to look at this, if this move is so significant, then that might influence XLV significantly. So if this takes a break, pulls back, even a small pullback, now that it's made its large move, that's going to weigh down XLV because it's such a huge part of XLV. It's a huge, huge part of it. It is the number one holding in XLV is UNH. And if it isn't, it's darn close to it. But I'm pretty sure it's up there with, Eli Lilly and Johnson and Johnson and such. It's got to be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10%. But more than that is the weighting of it. It's not just the holdings. And so when I look at this, I'm like, you know what? I don't think I want to trade XLV. I would rather look at individual tickers inside of XLV that would play catch up to this. So if this is rising and XLV is getting some action, let me ask you a better question. Michael, I'll ask you, and then you can answer. And those of you playing along at home can ask yourselves the same thing. So if I said to you, all right, Michael, I'm going to give you a choice. Eli Lilly, Johnson & Johnson, United Healthcare, or Merck. And I want you to pick one of those that you think will move higher in the next few weeks, few months. And then you look at the charts. And so look, here's UNH. I'll include ABT in that too. So here's AbbVie. Okay. Woo. Nice move. Here's what's Lilly? LLY.
LLY. Yes, sir.
LLY. Woo. That one's nice too. Let's look at Johnson & Johnson's considered in there. Woo. Nice one. They all look fantastic. Hard to make a choice here.
Who has yet to move? That'd be Merck.
Right.
Pull back.
So Merck, compared to the other ones, and it had a little move that lasts maybe 3-4 days, but it doesn't. The Merck chart doesn't look anything like the other ones. So your bigger opportunity is probably here, right? You're probably not gonna pick any one of the other 3 or 4 that have already made the move. You're probably going to go with something that has a little bit more upside, like this, right? And I know you personally happen to really like this stock as well.
Well, it's in my wealth machine.
Yeah. Or we looked at this. This is a really nicely traded stock. I mean, this says on a day like today, a couple of days before the holiday, 14 million shares traded. Abbott Laboratories, well traded. But look at this one. This one doesn't look anything like UNH or Merck.
It's ready to go.
But yeah, from a technical perspective, it is ready to go because you got higher highs and higher lows. You broke through the daily 50, pulled back and tested it, and you're staying above it. This is a beautiful long setup with a long way to go. We have look where it came from. You got nothing but blue sky up here in terms of where's the resistance? Up here? This level here? So this has range to go. So if you were just picking the stock, Merck, okay, you might want to have some of it. They're all strong, Johnson & Johnson, United Healthcare, but you're probably going to want to go with something that has more room to go. And so our methodology that we discussed is that before you look at XLV, look at the big boy first. Who's the big boy in XLV? And I would say, just from a brand name standpoint, it's UNH. And this one has already moved. And so has Lilly. Whoa, like, wow. So why in the world would I trade XLV? Because if Lilly and UNH take a breather and get some rotation out of them into some of the other healthcare stocks, that's going to bring down or level off XLV.
Dang, USA scored and they took it away. Sorry.
What's that?
USA scored and they took it away.
Oh, you're watching soccer?
I'm watching. It's just behind me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I heard my wife scream upstairs, so I had to turn around and look.
Maybe that's why we have a smaller room today. People are watching football. So that's the point. The point here is if this takes a breather and rotates into some of the other XLV stocks, that brings XLV down because this is so heavily weighted. Does everybody understand that?
Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video from Trade With Me Now. Make sure to go ahead and like this video and subscribe to our channel so you make sure that you catch our next video right when it's released. Also, if you have a question or comment, please leave that in the comment section below. And of course, if you want to learn more about Trade With Me Now or join our community of profitable traders, go to tradewithmenow.com. There's also a link in the description below.